Maybe somewhere I haven't been before. I don't wanna kill the vibe. I don't wanna feel it if it don't feel right. I just wanna break the ice. There's so much more to life than tears. There's so much more to life than fears. All I want is a night off. All I need is a night off. All I want is a night off. Ooh. Take it away, take it away, take it away. Do it my way, do it my way, do it my way. Free from the pain, free from the pain, free from the pain. A night off, a night off. I could use a new friend. I don't wanna pretend. You just get who I am. Almost feel like we're fam. Think it's time that we try something money can't buy. You and me should go dance. Maybe find us some romance. I don't wanna talk tonight. I don't wanna waste another night. I just wanna hit the floor. Maybe somewhere I haven't been before. I don't wanna kill.
Good afternoon and welcome to XeQueBo here on the sands of Valencia. We are into the finals and we have two national teams taking on one another. It's the mixed female matching players, Morras Cabronas in black, you see on screen, taking on the Spanish Masters team. They'll be playing in white, both going to Portugal to represent in the women's division and women's masters division, sorry, mixed division and women's masters division. I'm Stefan Rapazzo here with Ian Tate. Ian, these Morras Cabronas have been so good this weekend. I'm not sure I can see them stumbling here. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, they've been a class unit, just really giving it to all the other teams. But the Masters have also looked very strong. I bet against them earlier on in the tournament, and I mentioned that they might not have as much energy as an open seniors team, and I was made to regret it. So I think it's going to be a strong final either way, and it's going to be hotly contested from both teams.
I am looking forward to this being an absolute humdinger of a game, and if the Spain Masters can stay in it early, they'll give themselves a chance. But I think if this Morras Cabronas side gets out early, it could spell trouble as they navigate up the sideline. Backing around. And Cabronas using Navasa. Now through Navasa again to Julia Mas. Back and forth they go. Ramos Diaz. Into the corner for Mas. And they do score on their first asking.
Morras Cabronas with only 7 players on their roster, which is frankly fantastic that they've been able to absolutely dominate these other teams with so few players and make such a deep dive in this tournament.
Yeah, thoroughly impressed I am with their ability to have gotten here, but to just look the good getting here as well. Like I believe they are by far and away the best team here. All 7 of them. So Spain Masters will have their first kick at the can here. It's getting a little chilly out. I put my jacket on after we had a nice lunch, fideuà and paella. The meals distributed, a great service at the tournament. That throw by Broccoli is eaten up by the wind. Now Perez goes to Jocolea. Jocolea to Carretero. Back to Mas in the corner for Ortiz. Turns and misses the shot there.
The Masters team with a second chance to put in their first hold. One that they'll really want to keep to stay in this game and hotly contest this Limits Morras Cabronas team. But an immediate turn again.
Straight back, picked up for Mas. And Perez takes the ensuing throw. And another one caught up in the skies and turned over. Broccoli will pick up for the Spanish Masters. Suarez leads forward. Vergara to Broccoli. Vergara, there's 2 of them out there, and they are connecting for a goal. Maria to Monica. Vergara connects and add 1 up for the Spanish Masters. These holds extra important at the start of the game here.
Yeah, a bit of a messy point from both teams there. Not quite the usual offensive strength that we're used to seeing. But early on in the game, yeah, and time for them both to reel it in and really dial in these throws.
One. Make sure you join us in the chats. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're cheering for, what you're wearing today, perhaps, or what you'd like to know or like to know less of. We're here for it. And Ramos Diaz has been such an incredible distributor for this team. Morras Cabronas as she kicks things off to Navasa and then Perez. Zone defense from the Masters. Navasa taking her time, navigating how she'll get around, but once they do, they get space. Get this cup moving. Jocolea takes one high. And Ramos, that turns over. And here's another look at it. The dive in the lane there set the tone. And then the continuation made it really hard for Mas to squeeze the hand on it. Lead throw. And then the big send. Tina Corner has the disc on the doorstep. Looks for the dump back, takes it. And Bettina Corner stays open. Back to center. And shot in, Emmy. Looking for goal. Now going back to the dump space. Perez Salamero. Goes back to dump again. Perez Salamero once more. Moving backwards are the Masters. Big chance to break. And a bid seemingly gives it back, but there's a discussion.
Yeah, a big play there, but looked like there might have been some contact in the motion. The Masters player certainly thinks so.
They've got more experience in life. They know what's what.
Got to listen to your elders, right?
That's it. Or else there'll be trouble. Sidelines starting to fill up now. I believe most other, if not all other games have finished. A few spirit circles still concluding. Uh-oh, and bounces off both hands there. And then picked up, and there was a threat to go deep, but not taken. They go back to Navasa. And the big throw, Ramos Diaz, Chocolea. What a throw by Yaiza Ramos Diaz. The wind-up, the backhand has been, I mean, this team, all 7 of them have been awesome. But I really think Ramos Diaz has been the rock at the back, doing so much of the distribution. And, you know, has maybe erred on the side of conservatism a bit more than you know, liberal shot taking. But right there showing, like, if she sees something she likes, she's not shy to pull the trigger.
Yeah, Morris Cabronas there doing very well to get that point back. The Masters team were on the edge of scoring the first break of the game, but couldn't quite put it in. And now are left having to get their own hold for another chance at a break.
And that's straight out of bounds. Laura Suarez will bring that to the brick mark. The Puerto Rican-born Spaniard. And into play, Senye. Uh-oh, and no bailout available. Ortiz rips it out of the sky. Navasa to Ortiz. Test leads, gets Navasa, and in for the goal to Perez. As they keep it tight with another goal, making it 3-1.
Yeah, some very well-timed cuts there for the continuation. And one of the upsides of having such a short roster is that you play with each other so much that you know what each other wants at all times. So really working on their connections there, timing it to perfection. The throw can almost go without looking upfield because they know where each other will be.
Here's the pull, Yulia Mas. And that's a pedestrian head taker. Nope, it's safe. Just a bush chopper. Doing some hedging. Hedging your bets. Happy spectator gets to involve themselves in the point. Careful, but they got away with one. An inbounding throw from a spectator is a win. A completion.
Yeah, they do well to get the disc back in there. And the Masters team obviously breaking it. They might have got a few extra yards up the sideline, but you've got to take that in the middle of the field, especially with this crosswind.
Ox gets a layout bid by Amador Seco. And then Perez. And Garcia gives one up.
Yeah, massive
that's
one through
Amador
ball.
Seco. And high hands for Mas. Navasa leads. Mas hits the ground, straight back to the feet. Leads again, hits the ground. Ortiz straight back to the feet. Carbon copies. Will they do it again? They use the same line, but it's Navasa quickly delivering to Mas. And Morras Cabronas are looking like they're getting stronger with every point they play, which is very oxymoronical or inverse logic to what you would expect when you're running nearly savage lines.
Yeah, the cardio that they must have is off the charts. Just absolutely powering up the lines so fast on the sand, especially for, what, the 6th game of the weekend?
Yeah.
To still be running that hard is crazy.
Madness. I know I can say with full confidence that they are all more fit than I am.
I'm not sure anyone was doubting that step.
Well, you said off the charts. We had to put it into some sort of perspective. Give some chart.
We could have raised the bar a little bit off the ground.
Hey, easy, Tate. You want to be welcomed back here or what? No, we love you, and Tate. We'll happily take the jabs. Que Cabrona Luna from the chats. She knows what's up. These Cabronas are en fuego. Broccoli to Suarez. Near sideline. Spun around. Suarez goes to Brock again. Vergara back to Broccoli. Low. Suarez collects to the knees and then high. Carabella to Vergara. And fired. And that will be taken down. Nice turn for Elaine Alford to spot the disc, make it into a goal, and put themselves only down a deuce. It's 4-2 now.
Yeah, Masters doing well to get that one in. As we see the catch again here. Very well read. That's a tough one when it's over the head, it's blading down. She does extremely well to reel that in. The question is, do the Masters come back out with the zone? They've not got the matchups in terms of speed on this La Mixta team. So they've got to keep throwing different looks, keep trying different things on defense.
Yeah, it's funny that the team with substantially more players and the team that are like, well, we can't keep running them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it will be their defensive tactics. We'll keep them under watch here. There's a great pull to start from the back. Ramos gets to Ortiz. Oh, sorry, that's Navasa. And Kerner in a position to lay out D there, and here's a chance to break. Santos goes around, and that one is given a second chance. And I think a foul was called in the falling motion there.
Yeah, mid-air foul call. You've got to respect that. Not wasting any time. As we see it again here on the screen. Not able to make it on the first bid. I don't know about that call. The Masters player was behind on the play. So it feels like she was coming into it from behind and didn't have the right to the space from my perspective. I think the turnover should stand. Let us know what you think in the chat. Do you agree, disagree?
Let it be known. And it will be given as a goal. So not only will the turnover not stand, I guess it must be a strip.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because if it was a foul, they would start from the front line. If it's a strip, it would be, yeah, has to be the resolution.
Maybe that's just my bad eyesight. I didn't bring my glasses.
Hey, let's
Full
watch
disclosure.
again. Let's watch again. Love that there is a second effort on this in the first place.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, I can see it. There's a thumb hook that didn't come out clean on the swat. Like it kind of slowly popped out. I'll take it.
Yeah, I stand corrected. I've been known to be wrong before, and I'm sure I'll be wrong again.
I don't know what that feels like.
Apart from any of your predictions ever.
Perez on the far side. Oh, that was a speculative one from Perez, but it actually worked out to be perfect. Carretero to Navasa. Navasa leads and hits Ramos Diaz. And into the corner for Carretero. And another score for Morras. Cabronas makes it 5-3 in this all-Spanish XeQueBo final. Here's another look. They just are so good at taking what's given. They'll jam it up the jam hole. If the jam hole's open, they'll bounce it off the line and go back to center. If their first look isn't good, their class outfit. If you're just joining us, we will reiterate, they are playing 7 players and have been dismantling all comers more or less. And they're not necessarily dismantling here, but have a nice lead and have that potential to turn that lead into a run as they've done all weekend long.
I think what helps as well is that they are athletes by every measure of it, but they're also making smart cuts. They're creating the fakes. They're using their sort of selling the defender one way and then going the other and creating the space for themselves, allowing that flow all the way up the pitch. As we see another errant pull.
Another one out. Broccoli from the brick mark. Fakes the backhand, gives it the other way and slips through the fingertips of Vergara. She shows that she's apologetic for not having it. And Mas picks up and goes to Navasa towards center. Jokolea turns and Navasa breaks. Ooh, just inside, strong hands by Navasa to chase. Now Carretero, Mas. Low, nice pickup. Navasa, Carretero, lead throw to Mas, and everything is with power. That throw from Carretero was just a laser.
Yeah, La Mixta still looking good. To be fair to the Masters, they're doing their best to put on the pressure, but La Mixta are just using the space so well and getting these continue-offs with such great timing that it's tough to stop.
6-3 on a cloudy, windy afternoon here in Valencia. Instagram or something? Just send it to me and then I can post it.
This point, for half, if we can get another break from the mixed team.
From their own corner, Spain Masters with a big ask. March all the way out, not from their own corner. This is a brick count, sorry.
I think it just hit the tape as it was coming down, but very close to being right in the corner.
Big charging under from Amador Seco and Perez Salamero. Corner. Trying to isolate, get eyes on something, and a hand block there. Perez was locked in and took it away as soon as the option was sought out. Ramos Diaz. And taken right back. Great play, Regina Amador Seco. Trying to get off the line here. Good trap defense, but they do to corner. Back, and an unfortunate drop for Boroque Santos, picked up by Ramos Diaz to Mas. Mas. Ramos Diaz to Ortiz. Ortiz fires, and the wind really, you saw that actually pick up and keep going. I thought that was good, and the wind totally lifted that.
Yeah, we can see here that there's almost a second play on it. Both teams with a few errors creeping in again. Masters will look to try and keep it clean from now, putting this point to get to half, to keep this first half going.
And Masters in their own end zone. Low and fiery one. Mas cleans that up and gets meters with it. And straight away, Jogolea 7-3. That is halftime taker. Morras, Cabronas, look at the goods. And look at this turn. Mas gets every little bit of it and makes it so easy to pick up and isolate Jogolea. Morras Cabronas sitting pretty. Will they continue to trounce their way through the second half? There's only one way to find out, and that's by tuning in. We'll be back for it just after this. Flipware custom uniforms on full display on this game and will be in the next game as well. Both finals, all finalists dressed in Flipware. If you're wondering why your teams aren't making the finals, maybe that's the first port of call to check.
You know what they say, look good, feel good, play good.
That's the way. Suarez. Oh, and Bit of pressure by Navasa. Vergara had a tough time with it, and it'll be picked up and sent by Ramos Diaz to Ortiz. Ortiz goes around too high, and oh goodness, don't give her a second chance, but she didn't get it that time.
Dangerous not catching the D there, but got away with it.
Broccoli changes hands and throws the backhand. Did that happen?
Yeah, lefty backhand. It was a choice.
Yeah, it was a choice.
But not one that prevailed for her, sadly.
It was not a winning choice. Ramos Diaz, she's been making winning choices, but again, this one smacked down. And Spain Masters will take over.
Yeah, Masters are set on not catching these Ds. They want to see that disc in the ground for the slow, controlled.
Suarez. To Broccoli. Broccoli swipes off. Vergara comes under, charging. Steps away from the mark, and the next throw is thrown to ground. Navasa picks up. Navasa into the dump space, leads and hits Ortiz 5 meters out on the far sideline, testing the mark with fakes. She goes back, and what a grab by Ramos Diaz. Then goes back to Navasa. Ramos Diaz looks to the corner, now back to the middle. Fires, and Carretero is there for the goal. 8-3. They continue to keep the heavy front steamroll wheel moving.
Yeah, just the mistakes creeping into the Masters game here. We've had a few drop clap catches, a couple throwaways, all ones that I think had they done again, they definitely would have made ones that they would want back. They're not tough turns, but they're just under lots of pressure from this mixed team, these mixed FMPs. So it's a tough one that it feels like they're not playing at their best, but it's always tough when you are under so much pressure from such a strong team as they're facing. What do you think the Masters team can do to get back in this?
Rewind the clock about 15 years, find a time machine. Otherwise, they've got their hands full. Tactically speaking, I feel like they have given a go at a lot. They've tried their zone. They're running their lines. Shortening your lines, is that really helping? I still don't even think so. It is, they've got it. Offensively speaking, is what they've got to do something different. Try in the deep game at this stage and trying to see what that does. May not be the worst thing to try and get, the benefit of some big yards or at least turnovers away from your end. It's a dark hole of options to dig into as to what can be done and what needs changing to beat this team. But Kerner's there, makes a great catch. Swiping around, trying to isolate Bianca, and then takes Carly. Carly looks to center, takes the throw to Ox. Bianco leads into the corner, gets a bid, but the throw is too far, and they're still looking for that time machine.
Yeah, they were let off a little bit with that one with the turn back, but just not able to capitalize on it. It feels like they've had a few chances. It makes me think back to near the start of the game where they were on the goal line to put in the first break of the game and weren't able to capitalize, and it's just all kind of gone downhill from there.
Yeah, I think I mentioned at the top, they got to start strong here. That break early, stay in it, minimum trading early, and they went down early, and it has been detrimental and proving to be a very difficult hole to climb out of as they go again. And Jogolea from Navasa, 9-3. They're tripling up. And Morras Cabronas are looking very strong to becoming champions of XeQueBo 2025.
And you've got to think that with their male matching players doing so well in the other division as well, that mixed team is going to be very strong coming to Worlds. They've got to be one of the favourites.
Have to be. I mean, the favorites you still give to bronze medalists from last edition, which is the USA, because they'll retool and they've got the greatest depth pool to choose from, an embarrassment of riches over there. But I do like this Spanish team as the number 2 contender, and
you think over that
likely.
French team?
The French team has gone and put their power in open and women's this year for sure.
Interesting.
And so women, to that end, you would say would have underperformed here.
Yeah.
But hopefully that's just a lesson that we've seen the French.
As we see a massive play from the spectator.
Are we going to get a replay
saving
on
that child's life? Huge bid.
Wow, that is an awesome layout D to save the kid. That's the best replay I've ever seen in a non-game play. Suarez. High. Vergara. Vergara low and turned again. Mas picked up. Ramos Diaz. Quick. Carretero has it spin around the thumb. There's an open shot. No, it won't be taken. Suarez does fire one, and a strong hand collects that for Alfred. Alfred back to Suarez. And into the middle, Broccoli goes down to one knee to take it. Broccoli leads to the back of the end zone. Alfred is there, and a score at long last for the Spanish Masters.
Yeah, they've done well to stem the leading there. Broccoli opting for the forehand over the lefty backhand this time. A choice that's panned out well for her.
That was going to be my other suggestion if find a teammate or find a time machine didn't happen, was go to 4 handlers. I'm kidding, I didn't have anything. But it's nice to see. Now, this is, I mean, theoretically holding's the easy part of the comeback. Defensively, putting a spanner in the works of this unit is the tough part.
Definitely, but sometimes that hold is the spark that you need to get back in the game and get that pressure back on the other team. As they get a deep pull into the end zone here, so they're off to a good start of this defensive point.
Ramos Diaz to Navasa. Perez quickly turns and goes to her club running mate, gym running mate, and hairdresser, Julia Mas. Now under for Ortiz. Ortiz isolates Navasa. Straight back, Marta Ortiz. Pops. Ramos Diaz. Around. Ortiz in the corner. They're not in yet, but they are. But one throw later, Perez catches and lets it go as Cabronas take it to 10-4. Roger that.
Yeah, you've lost for words.
It's like scintillating watching them play. As you get a look at, the breeziness there, you see it in the palms. It would be a quiet day on the promenade if not for this event today. I think the weather would keep the masses away that we've seen yesterday and the day prior while we were setting up. This is a busy boulevard.
Yeah, great to see the locals out to take in the sport.
Yep. It's a great spectacle corner for a tournament. Great pedestrian traffic beach. And this throw, Senier doesn't want to make the catch. Picks it up and goes to Suarez. Vergara. And Perez. Oh, I thought she got that. How did Suarez hang on? What a play. And another play. Balling out there, these masters. They got to get the rewards. Can they walk this in and go around? Suarez. Eyes upfield. Senier has a look. Senier has a try to break back. Oh my goodness, is that the sun peeking through? Ah, and a turn just as I notice the giant ball of light in the sky, which seems to be closed back up about a second later. Sent for end zone, and again, Morras, Cabronas keep doing Morras, Cabronas kind of things.
Yeah, a glimmer of hope there for the Masters, as they had two great plays one after the other, but not able to translate that into a hold. And Morras Cabronas is clinical once they get that disc in their hands. But there's fight in the Masters yet, as they look to put in a hold here and see what they can do to mount a comeback.
$11-4. It would be one heck of a comeback, but I've seen crazier things happen. 39.5 minutes into the game. That one hits and rolls. Bianco and high throw corner. Nice take. Tests the around. Then goes the other way to Biscotti. And leads corner. Oh, off the hands in the end zone. Had just gotten beyond Mass.
Yeah, Mass not touching it, I don't think, but just enough pressure to put off the catch.
Jogolea, and nice layout bid there to take it away by Amador Seco. Bianco turns back. Ox. Biscotti and Ox exchange. And Bianco goes to corner. She points her shot, but not enough on it to get onto the receiver.
Yeah, it's another goal line turnover for the Masters team. One that they've struggled with, and one that they would look to try and work out of their game as they lead up to the Worlds Tournament.
Well, they get a gift in a short throw turnover coming back, so another short field, run their end zone set essentially, and their end zone set's got to be better than throwing it to Julia Mas. Ramos Diaz sends looking for Jogolea, but that one is too far. Another look at the throw. Ambitious it was. I think Jogolea was definitely open, but because of this wind, it needs to be slightly more measured of a throw than that.
Yeah, it's the same issue we've seen quite a few times on this pitch today. Just getting picked up and soaring through that far side.
Bianco leads, connects with Ox. And back to Bianco, and Ox bobbled, and I thought the second chance, but still goes away. Ramos Diaz gets Mark shaken and overshoots Jogolea, who we know is happy to chuck the body, but that time no chance.
Yeah, a bit of a messy point from both teams here, but only one of the teams can afford it. Masters need to put this in, need to just clean up this game. It feels like they've just had too many unforced errors here.
Bianco sends deep corner. Is the intended receiver, but the throw carries and surpasses. Is there a foul called on the throw?
There is. Let's see if we can have a look.
Here it is. Is there a foul?
I don't know. If there is contact, it feels very late, but it has been accepted on the force.
Yeah. And violation. Not everybody ready to start playing again. Back in, Bianco. Underneath, Biscotti. And heavy pressure, but not enough to get around Amador Seco. Ox. And corner. Spills the beans there, but because of the foul. And Mas, I think, knows. And she accepts. Good battle between those two. And corner turns and fires and will not win a race against Carretero, who slams it to the ground.
Yeah, Carretero getting separation in that cut, just absolutely powering ahead.
Timeout has been called. We are at the 45-minute mark. It will be finished this point and add one. But we'll find out what happens after this break. We'll catch you on the other side.
I worked for a Michelin star chef making gelato in Paris. I had my own restaurant in Nicaragua and a food truck in Australia. Why wouldn't you watch me? Check out my YouTube channel.
And back into play, 11-4. Morras Cabronas have a commanding lead. And
yeah, a long point that we've just come out of, that we're still in fact.
yeah,
So we'll see whether Morras can put it in, take themselves to 12, or whether Masters have another more fight in them.
it will start with Morras from their own corner. Lead throw to Ortiz. Ramos Diaz back to Ortiz in the middle. Ortiz teasing the backhand fake, then gives the other side. Ramos Diaz and Ortiz have hogged every touch in the possession until now. Low Carretero. Ortiz again. Then Carretero. And led into for goal. Ortiz is there. And that makes it 5-11 at 12-4.
You're wrong on both accounts there, Steph.
Yeah, well, no, the second account, I'm back up to 12-4. We've got it right this time. It will be a game to 13. And I would say Morras Cabronas have a decisive advantage.
Yeah, ever so slight. But just a case of slight bone coverage in the end zone there. Morras just working up the pitch, and they're still just running all the way through these cuts. Last game of the weekend, coming to the last, what could be the last couple minutes of it, and they're still sprinting through every cut, really working hard, which is so tough to stop.
Here's the pull from Ortiz. It's game point for the dominating 7 of Morras Cabronas. That one hits the pool noodle cone, and I believe that means it's out. So it will be a bricked pull. And the slow walk to the line. To the brick mark, rather. Broccoli. High release, backhand to Vergara. Vergara. Waiting, leading in to center for Suarez. Suarez fakes the backhand. Now shoots for goal, but it's Carretero who's there and breaks up the play. A chance to win now for Morras Cabronas.
That shot just a high stall, get rid of the disc, throw it in hope, and not quite deep enough to reach the receiver.
Navasa around to Jogolea. Inside, Carretero. Leading throw to Navasa, quickly bounced to Perez. Perez shoots, Ortiz the target, and just over the head. Off the fingertips. Defense did a good job to stay in the picture. Neither really had a chance. I would have had to have some serious springs, or maybe just turn way earlier and assume the depth of it.
I think Ortiz just got pulled in by the defensive pressure. If she'd just taken a few more steps, kind of run the disc out a little bit more, then I think she could have had it in.
Suarez to the line. Tough marking upfield. Broccoli jams it deep. Vergara the target, but the backup plan is there. Carabeleda goes back to Vergara. And thrown for Spectator. That one goes out of bounds.
Yeah, Vergara unhappy with the reset cuts from Broccoli there, but she didn't give her long to get free. She turned to Broccoli, didn't like the immediate cut, and then immediately hoofed it. I think she's got to just stick with Broccoli a little bit longer there, trust her to get free, have a step one way or another, and give her an option in the backfield.
And that one all the way to Ortiz, a chance to win this if they can punch it in. And they have been punching in specialists all weekend long. Navasa, Carretero, Perez leads Ortiz. And XeQueBo champions in the women's division are Morras Cabronas. They have dominated with 2 subs, 6 games in 2 days. Extraordinary performance for Morras Cabronas.
Yeah, there's no other way to put it other than just domination in this division. They've blown everyone else out of the water and they've done it in style. Fair play to them, and fair play for Masters for keeping up the fight all final long. It didn't go their way, but they were pushing till the end. I think both teams are going to look strong coming into their tournament that matters over the Worlds, but XeQueBo providing a great weekend of Frisbee so far, and one more game to go.
One more game to go. That is the Open Final. Your very own All-Star collection representing your favorite network to watch Ultimate with. Team Ulti TV will be taking on the tournament favorites, the #1 seed coming in undefeated throughout. Team Spain Open. That is coming up in just more than 5 minutes, about 6 minutes time. I know you're not going to want to miss that, so don't. Come back, stay in, fill your drinks, get something warm to eat or to wrap yourself in or whatever makes you comfortable, and be ready for that final. For Ian Tate, I've been Stefan Rapazzo. Thank you so much for joining us. We will catch you next time.
Thanks.
Yeah, Ultimate.
Ulti.tv.
You go and break my heart. Lucky me, I had thick skin, as I'm sure it would give in. I know, I know.